Hi, and welcome to Carolina Varsity's 2014 look at the NCHSAA playoffs. I'm Dale Ross.
And I'm Matt Mallard.
And this next game we're going to take a look at is number 13 Myers Park, 5-6, going against number 4 Mallard Creek, who finished the season 10-1. Myers Park had to win a few games at the end of the season. The schedule lined up that they had teams that really played well for them, and so they're able to fight their way back into the playoffs. I've got a chance to see Myers Park. I've had lots of opportunity to talk to Coach Chadwick prior to him coming to Myers Park, and I'm really impressed with what's going on. It's probably one of the better 5-6 teams in the state. I feel confident in saying that this is not a pushover a team for Mallard Creek. I do believe that Mallard Creek should be able to win this game, and probably win this game by a big margin if they come in focused and play. But Mallard Creek, Myers Park showed us with Butler as an example that they can play you tight. They played Rocky River tight, but when they play a Butler type and they hold Butler, I think the final score was at 28-14, 28-21, maybe 28, something like that. I'm sorry, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it was a real close ball game. And held Butler under 30 points. I think that was pretty impressive. So it's a different team. This is Mallard Creek got their typical big offensive lines, and they've got an offensive coordinator that's finally kind of rolling into his own. I think Joe's starting to prove to be a really good offensive coordinator. People were questioning his abilities early on in the season, I remember. But anyway, I think this could be a competitive game for a while. Can it be a competitive game throughout? I don't know. I mean, obviously it can. Myers Park's no pushover. Really, it's going to come down to how focused I think Mallard Creek is.
Yeah, with Myers Park, I've seen them up close personally over the summer a couple times, and of course, looking at some other teams throughout film, I've seen them. They have a lot of potential, and those kids, especially the upperclassmen, have been through a lot in terms of coaching changes and things of that nature. And the only thing I'm wondering is, can they pull it all together now and play up in a big game environment? A couple years ago, Myers Park went to Mallard Creek in the playoffs and scared them for about a half.
Right.
And some of those upperclassmen were young kids on that team, so they have experience going over there and playing in a big game environment. They have a lot of talent across the board. Quarterback Clay Norris, big tall kid, throws the ball well. Of course, Jaquayon Alexander at running back is a load, and they've got another kid that shares the backfield with him, Dominique Washington, who's more of the speed guy. And to Darren McNeil out at receiver with John Tavius Hall, they have some talent on that team. I think Mallard Creek has more overall depth. And of course, they have talent all over the place in their own right. With Smith at quarterback and so forth and so on. Mallard Creek looks like they're starting to get together. The last couple games, they went out and dominated like the Mallard Creek we saw last year, winning the state title. Right. I think they're really looking at continuing their consistency here, going up into the playoffs, but they can't overlook Myers Park. Right. I think they're a dangerous 13 seed, but they got a matchup with a team with a lot of experience that got over the hump last year.
Right.
Now, if we were talking about the old Mallard Creek, we might say this could be an interesting type of situation, but them having got over that hump last year, I think they're going to be mentally ready. They're hitting their stride right now. And Myers Park, kind of struggled, with East Met last week.
Right, exactly.
So, which way are these teams trending? Looks like Mallard Creek's trending up, and maybe Myers Park is kind of leveled off possibly. But you never count out Coach Chadwick.
Right.
When he was at Marvin Ridge, he went into Catholic in the first round and gave them a heck of a battle when nobody expected it. And he's a heck of a coach, and I'm sure they're going to come up with a scheme to try to slow down Mallard Creek, and it could be interesting for a while. But like you said, you're looking at the records on paper and the track record of these guys. You got to like Mallard Creek, but you can't count Myers Park out here.
I agree. Just a comment about that East Met game, I guess is a positive for Myers Park, is they were down, and they did fight that adversity and came back and won. Now, it should have never been down, and even when coming back, it should have been we can all argue it should have been a bigger margin, etc. But they did face that adversity in the game and came back, which could feed well to them. And I do want to say Smith at Mallard Creek has really been an impressive growth this season into one of the key players for them and their success this year. And Mallard Creek is a perfect example of it's not really where you start, but it's where you finish and how you finish. And there's been talk all along, and really I'll say it again, they had not met my expectations up through the advanced game. I expected them to beat Butler, and I expected them to not have struggles with teams like Huff like they had in the first half. But set the Butler game aside, because Butler's a good team. That's a top 5 team in the state. Huff is kind of pushing to where they may be, but I do want to say it looks like Mallard Creek is like you say, hit their stride. So could be a good ball game. We'll hope for Coach Chadwick that it is. Obviously, the Mallard Creek fans want it to be a blowout. So you guys enjoy your game. Thank you.